trying to do that either, but at the same time, I am the authority, and so with that being said, you will not have access to my child because I will go to
You're the
court and
authority at what? Because your son has a father, and that's who I'm in a relationship with.
right, but that's who I have a child with. I don't have a child with you,
But
and
you
so
asked
you
to
don't
sit
have
here
to
and
have
meet me, though.
access. Honey, you're just like a grandparent. You're just like a grandparent.
Well, why
You don't
am
have
I
to have
here? You're the one
access.
that wanted to meet and interview me. I just said I don't
So
want to
my
do an
child could be
interview.
around you. My child doesn't have to be around you. And so this interview could be over. And your man will come over to my house to see their child.
So this season, I'm bringing back some guests that I talked to previously because I feel like I need to reintroduce you guys to a lot of people. Today, I'm sitting down with Coach Ralphiel Toulon. Coach Ralph was on episode 78, and she was a fan favorite because she was married to a narcissist. I said was. Oh my God, I just spilled it. Damn it. Oh my God. Coach Ralph Toulon is back with us today for a very transparent sit down, one that I absolutely did not see coming. Coach Ralph was an expert at dealing with narcissistic personality disorder because her spouse was one and a couple of other people on the spouse's side. I'm not going to say any, but her spouse was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder and she decided to stay in the marriage. I mean, I kind of already issued a spoiler, but it's okay because this episode is so good. Coach Ralph's bio has changed since episode 78, so let's just read the new one. Ralph Toulon, the powerhouse behind Vitality Studios, a holistic wellness brand dedicated to helping women reclaim their physical, mental, and emotional wellness after encountering toxic experiences. As a certified personal trainer and wellness coach, she has abs, y'all, by the way. Please go look at her Instagram. Ralphiel is passionate about creating safe spaces where women can connect with themselves, heal from within, and thrive. So speaking of healing and thriving, let's head over to this podcast and check this out. So let's get on to this healing and thriving. Welcome to another episode of I Know I'm Crazy with Naja Hall.
I know I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy with Naja Hall.
Whew, all right, y'all. So wasn't that a great intro? Coach Ralph is back with us again. She was with us, was it season 1 or 2? This is our second talk. And you guys know as I'm reviving I Know I'm Crazy with Naja Hall, we're coming in hot. The first thing I'm doing is reaching out to all of my fan favorites. And you guys loved Coach Ralph. By her bio, obviously, she's done some phenomenal things with her life, but she's overcome some hell of a circumstances. I am going to tag the other episode the first episode that she and I did together, so you can kind of have a reference. We're kind of picking up where we left off, but for those of you that are just now tuning in or just now meeting Ralph the coach or Coach Ralph or Ralph as I call her, you're still going to learn some phenomenal things about her. Right. So
yes,
for those that don't know you, and unless you've been hiding under a rock, you don't know her. But for those that don't know you, can you just tell who you are, what you've been up to since the last time we spoke?
Oh, girl. Well, I've kind of been hiding under a rock, so there's that. Social media, we have a love-hate relationship. So I took like a unplanned 4-month break. Honey. Yeah. Didn't know I was in the midst of it. So I have, as most professionals, we have 2 phones. I have a work phone and a personal phone. And honey, when that work phone went dead, that was it. That was it for me. So what I've done in the meantime, I've gotten divorced.
I mean, I'm going to say this, Ralph, because I saw the social media and, since you and I first met online, I absolutely loved your platform. I thought what you were doing was so phenomenal and magical because I'm like, how in the hell is she married to a diagnosed narcissist and how is she making this work? And I did see some of the pictures disappearing and some things looking different on the socials. I'm going to ask about that, but I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
So what else have you been up to besides divorcing and, changing your life?
But I do want to clarify that wasn't a reason for the hiatus. It just really was because we had the LLC together, so I kind of had to tear down and start back over. And sometimes we just keep on going. We're like, okay, yeah, but that doesn't stop anything. I need to keep, but I could not. I just could not do it. And so I'm like, okay, God, this is a sign you want me to rest. And so I took it as, okay, girl, just take this time. You don't have like anything pressing. Just when my last client ended, that was it. I didn't get another one. I just left it as it is. And then I was like, okay, we're going to try this rest thing. Right. And I struggled.
Because
So
what
bad with
does
it.
rest look like for the busy woman who is an entrepreneur, family woman?
Mom,
Like,
yes.
what does rest? It seems like a foreign word and a
And
notion that we just
I
don't know
tried
about.
to I tried to con God. I tried to trick God. Like,
Ooh.
I was like, oh God, look at me. Look, I'm resting. Okay, so can I get back to work now? I'm resting. Do you see me?
Oh.
And God was like, girl, please.
God is like, girl, bye. God is like,
Bye.
girl, bye. Because you know what happens? One thing I learned that if we don't take the necessary rests and you're not listening to
Come
whatever,
on, I know where you're going.
yeah,
Come on.
if you're not listening, then God or the universe or whatever you guys out there prefer to call him, her, or they, your
Mm-hmm.
version of God will lay you flat on your back on your
Flat on
bed
your
of
back, honey.
affliction. Your
Yeah.
mind won't work, your body, you'll just notice things starting to crack. Did you
And
get to
that's where
that
I
point?
was. That's where I was. Because I was like, okay, I rested like all weekend. Like, what are we doing? And
God,
God was
listen,
like,
I'm divorcing and I'm starting my life over. I gave it rest of 2 days. Like,
come on. Like, honey, I have to do something here. And I was just fighting until, and then I finally just succumbed. And I was like, okay, I really have to get comfortable because clearly I'm being prepared for something else. And
mm,
so, rest has to be what I need right now. And I have to learn how to take that for myself. So when I tell you, I struggled. And when I felt, I didn't wait for God to tell me. I felt that I was good. And
okay.
I had attempts on restarting again. And then again, it was a roadblock. I would get so far. And then like, okay, so we back at it. I got my
You
juju
hit the
back.
wall.
Let's do it. And then I hit the wall. And I was like, come on, God. And then
So
now
how do
I'm
we
like
know
back.
though? But then how do you know? Because that's so interesting that you said that. You like, I felt like I had enough rest. And so I
Mm-hmm.
got up and I tried to do. I think and I think I know what you're alluding to. Everything that you tried, nothing worked. You still were tired. You
Mm-hmm.
still were feeling overwhelmed. It's like nothing is
Mm-hmm.
connecting. How do we know when now it's time, when the Red Sea has parted and now it's
Mm-hmm.
time for me to walk through and start to continue? How did you know then when that moment came?
I say a few words: ease, peace, contentment. It's not I have to go do this, or oh, I had this list to take care of. It's just like I'm ready to be led. So it's just like it's just a stillness. It's just a stillness. Like I said, it's an ease. It's not feeling like the urgency to make things happen. It's just an ease of like, you're on vacation. I really don't have an agenda. I don't have an itinerary. What are we going to do? And we don't allow ourselves, sometime even on vacation, to do that. We're like, okay, I've been laying on the beach long enough. Let's go. Let's go on an excursion. Let's go do something. But it's the ease of, it's kind of like tearing you down to the point of, I don't even know what you want me to do. So I'm just going to just be in this stillness and wait for a direction, wait for a pulling, wait for, or something to come over me like, let me go do, until that comes, then I'm going to just sit in the stillness and not worry and not conjure up something.
Stillness. That's
Yeah.
difficult in this world that always tells us you need to be moving forward. You need to be
Yes.
moving the needle forward. You need to be doing something. You need to be working. You're only withdrawing. You're not
Mm-hmm.
depositing. And
Yeah.
those little voices, those notions that we have to do that. But you said something. You said stillness and ease. Because one thing I found, Ralph, is the things that are supposed to happen and supposed to come for us, it's like
Come on.
we don't have to fight and kick and
There
scratch
you
for
go.
them. There's a
Yes.
sense of ease. So then let's segue into divorce, honey, because
Okay.
let's talk about that. Because Ralph, what happened? Because last time you were here, we were learning that your husband was a diagnosed narcissist. We were learning that he also had narcissistic patterns in other people in his family. You were helping him parent his child from a previous relationship. With that
Mm-hmm.
previous relationship, it was high conflict that you were dealing with. So you were dealing with a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
I was.
You the some of the responses that I got from the text message, from DMs, texts, like all the people that listened to it, they were like, I feel like my spouse is also narcissistic. I just
Yeah.
don't understand how Coach Ralph deals with it. And you were teaching us how to still maintain your marriage and your sanity,
Yeah.
set very firm boundaries. But A narcissist. Oh my God. And this is a person that, like, that's hard. It almost sounds unbelievable that you made it that far.
Well, I'm not the only one, to be honest, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I may have had I want to say two clients out of what 260 women left. Everybody who comes to me wants to stay. Even those two wanted to stay, and as we got through the coaching, they was like, you know what, wait a minute. No. But most women who come to me, because I was the only one saying you can stay. Everyone say go, 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 go. But the thing is, you can stay. My deal breaker was I made a promise to myself that if things got back to where they're to the way they were, it was time to go.
So,
And I had to stay true to myself.
but I do recall that he was in therapy. He was doing the work. He was trying to learn
So,
empathy. He was
yeah.
trying. But how does one go from, hey, I'm trying. You see, Ralph, I'm doing the work, to you saying, and they're reverting back to old behaviors? Was there one
So,
thing?
well, not necessarily old behaviors, but because it never got back to how it was. Because that was, for me, that was absolutely the worst.
Yeah, that's a no.
But as I told him when I told him I wanted a divorce, we were put together for a reason, and part of that reason was there were things that he needed to work on. There were things that I needed to work on. And God is going to put you with someone who is going to help you and love you through your growth season, right?
Oh, your tests, these damn tests. Thanks, God.
But the thing is, because God gave us choice, you can choose to not do it. You can choose to allow fear to leave you stagnant and frozen to no movement.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we got to a certain spot, but it's like, okay, I'm good here. And I'm like, no. And so I'm having conversations of, this is what I need. This is what I need you to do. I need to have this intimacy. And it was like, yeah, I hear you, but, and so I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel like how I used to feel. And so now it's time to move. So yeah, the gaslighting and manipulation was not at the all-time high of what it used to be when but it's like, okay, I'm not, and most people know, most narcissistic people,
Yeah.
they look for you to be the responsible person for everything.
Even for their feelings.
Right. You got to love yourself. You got to love them. You got to love the kids. You have to do everything. You have to do everything. And so it's just like, I'm asking for things that I was asking for in the marriage like 4 years prior.
Still those same cycles. So we're still repeating.
Nothing changed. Yeah. Nothing changed. We're still like right here.
Do you have any regrets about staying as long as you did?
No, because of what it gave me. I don't regret anything. I don't regret marrying him. I do not regret going through the whole process. I don't even regret divorcing him in our relationship now. Love it all.
How is the relationship now?
We love it. Everyone else hates it.
What?
Honey, and when I tell you the struggle has not ended.
Wait. Okay, break that down.
Okay, so he kind of let me lead. He lets me lead the relationship, not like in a bad way, like controlling, but I feel my perspective. I feel that he knows that I'm going with the intention of love, care, peace, right? And I'm not going to ask for anything that's going to be messy, turmoil, drama.
Right.
So it's kind of like, okay, I know kind of where she's coming from. I'm going to let her. So when I asked for a divorce, I didn't ask for lawyers. I just wanted uncontested. I wanted to make sure our son did not see fight, because we never fought in our marriage. Mm-hmm. We have firm discussions, honey. It might be 2-3 hours of that discussion, but we're not
fighting, but we're getting firm.
We're getting firm. My son knows when, I don't feel good about daddy or daddy is upset with me. He knows that. So I want him to see that because that's healthy. That, we do have disagreements, but it's not cussing each other out, tearing each other down. We're not doing all of that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So even in our co-parenting, we've gone on family vacations together. We'll go to dinner together. Yeah. And
Ralph.
everyone's like, well, how was your son? Honey, my son is fine.
Happy. He still gets
Happy.
mommy and daddy, and he's not torn between choosing. Because we know,
Right.
we know
Because
what
you want them to pick a side.
you want. You need. Some people need
You-
their kids. How was it? And I know you can't speak on his behalf.
Yeah.
So I'm going. These are assumptions. I'm trying to like figure out ways because I do want to know someone that they say narcissists aren't capable of feeling. I disagree with that. They just feel way differently or with an intensity
Yes.
that we do not. We can't seem to understand. Are you able, for those of us that, because like most people that listen to this, either they are married to a narcissist, did not recognize that they themselves are one.
Of course, me either. Yes.
What does it feel like being married to one? And then when you finish that question, I have another one. But what does it feel like when you were in the thick of things, in the thick of the gaslighting and the manipulation? Oh, damn.
So, right. It feels like for me, it felt like I know something is wrong. Like I know something is wrong. I can't put my finger on it. I don't understand why he doesn't get it. And I feel like I'm explaining myself well. And it's like you're listening just to make sure you don't do what I'm asking. So it's kind of like I'm showing you my hand. I'm like, hey, something simple as, can you help, do the dishes if I cook?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, yeah, sure. Like anything you need me to do. And then don't do it. It's like,
what?
So it's just like, I'm going to show up as supportive when I'm listening to you, but I'm going to make sure those things you're telling me, I'm going to take note of to just not do them.
Okay. Next question to piggyback off that one. So what is going on? Can you paint the picture of what it must have been like inside of the brain of someone like your ex-husband? Like, why would he, simple example, hey, babe, I need you to wash the dishes. This is why I need the help. What in his brain is going to make him refute your direct need?
Because I told him to do it.
So
you don't tell a narcissistic person or narcissist what to do. You don't do that. And if you don't know that, then here you are, you're asking for help. You're saying, hey, why don't you do this? And in that moment, they're like, because my ex, he's not overt. He's not aggressive. He's not very put together, very charismatic. He's not doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But with friends I've had, him, you don't know. You're getting to the point of like, okay, as someone who's always done it themselves, you're like, okay, I'm putting on my big girl panties and I'm asking for help. Mm-hmm. So then you ask for help and you still don't get the help. And you're like, okay, but to them, it's like you embarrass them because they should have known to do it. Who are you to tell me what to do? And so now you've embarrassed me. You're trying to control me. I'm not doing it. You do it.
I'm not doing it. You do it.
I'm not doing it. You do it.
A small little task.
Everything. You do it. Yeah, because now they're upset because you've upset them. You do it.
You've reminded them of an inadequacy, perhaps?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But isn't the narcissist's common preconceived, like their inherent thought is they are inadequate. I'm inadequate and I don't want you to know that I'm inadequate. So when you bring up something that I didn't do, I feel like the mask is off.
And now I gotta,
it.
You revealed it. Mm-hmm.
So just little things.
Little things. We couldn't get to anything big.
Because you're doing like the little droplets. So then what about the people that are listening to this that recognize that their parents have some very strong narcissistic traits? I know that in the beginning, our formative years, we're just downloading information. So we're learning how to be from mom or dad or whomever is raising us. But you're being raised by a person that gaslights you. Are children exempt by their narcissistic parents? Like, do they say,
no,
this is
this is how children become narcissists, because I think I said it last time, you don't become narcissistic or you don't become a narcissist at 21, 31, 40 something years old. You become one at 9, at 10, 11, 12. Like, you don't just wake up as an adult and be like, oh, I have no empathy. Because of neglect, trauma, or having a parent in the home, you either learn how to succumb or you become that scapegoat child and you're like fighting.
So what is a scapegoat child? Tell us what both of those kids look like. You're being raised by a narcissistic parent. You become the scapegoat or you just succumb to it. What does that human experience look like in adulthood for those kids?
In plain terms, you, as a scapegoat child, you are Cinderella. You can't do nothing right. Excuse me. You are subject to harsher treatment than if there are other kids in the home. If you are the only child, you are the golden child, which is the favorite, and you're the scapegoat child. Oof. And so it's like you do not know which way to lean.
You're everything and not enough.
And you're everything and not enough. It's like one moment mommy or daddy loves you, and then the next moment you can't do nothing right. You're such an embarrassment. Go over there and clean the kitchen until I tell you to stop. And then you're like, okay, well, yesterday we were. And when there's multiple children in the home, you more than likely stay in that role. So if you are the scapegoat child, which I tell people, most of the time the scapegoat child is a same-sex child. Because for whatever reason, the same-sex child is the mirror. Where, yeah. So the opposite sex child, for some, most narcissistic people live in Delulu land. They hinge to that child. That child is usually different than them, but they attach to that child and say, I'm just like that child. That child is like me. Like, that child could be outgoing, smart, very confident. And they be like, oh, they get that from me. But the same sex child who shows them, no, you're not like that. You're actually like this, not intentionally doing it, but just being themselves. They don't like that. And so then they abuse that child the most. Because who are you to show me how I really am?
Who are you to mirror?
Yes.
The things that I'm trying to hide and mask. Yeah. So this child is the one that's pulling off the mask. They're the ones that's challenging.
They're the ones that challenging and not knowing, questioning. Why sometimes, why when company comes over or why when, grandma and grandpa comes over, you're nice to me, but when they leave, you're mean to me. Pulling off the mask, putting the mirror up. I'm showing you act two-faced it.
So that's a scapegoat child. So in adulthood, what can we expect? And I know this, there's a million probabilities of how a human can turn out, but are there some common traits that we'll see when this scapegoat child grows up and then just go out into the world on their own?
I hate to say it like this, but they're mostly all over the place. They over-explain things all the time. You ask a simple yes, no question, you're going to get a run out because I have to prove to you what I'm saying or what I did is what really was.
Because you're accustomed to being invalidated. So
yes. So I have to over-explain everything.
Okay. And then what's the other one? The scapegoat child and
then you have the golden child. Okay. The golden child is the favorite.
So then when we see how can we recognize like a golden child coworker?
Someone who does not take to criticism very well. You may even think they may be a narcissistic person, but they very well could be. But I'm a golden child, right? So I'm the oldest. I'm the opposite, but I'm the golden child to my dad. And so, just to put it here, everyone gets abused. It doesn't matter what role you are.
None of us made it out of childhood okay.
No. Like that narcissist parent, just because you're their favorite doesn't mean they're not going to abuse you too. You just get the lesser of the abuse. That's it.
You get praise a little. Okay.
Yes. So definitely, talked about with friends and family, bragged on. You may get away with a little bit more things, but still at the same time, still get ignored, still get invalidated. And that's where I linked up with my ex because I put it on me. I was a pick-me and didn't realize that I was a pick-me.
How? What made you a pick-me?
So I tell people, always been confident. But the thing is, you're not going to tell me that I'm not good enough. So I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong. Yeah.
Okay, I
Right.
see. I get it.
You see
When
what I'm
it
saying? Like, you can be confident in who you are
right,
until someone rejects you. But now I got to show you that your rejection is wrong. You should want me and I reject you.
I'm rejecting you and you're wrong because you actually do want me. I reject the
You
notion
actually
that
do
you're
want me, and I'm
rejecting
gonna
me.
show you that I'm a really good person,
I'm
and
gonna
so
prove
then
myself.
you end up in situations you don't need to be in because now you want to be right.
Is that how you ended up falling in love with marrying and trying to make the life with someone with narcissistic personality disorder?
Yes, because prior to that, my friends would call me a runner, a track star.
Ah, she's a runner. She's a track
Any
star.
little thing that a man would
You're
do,
out.
I'm out of there
You're
because I don't have
bouncing.
to deal with this. I don't have to deal with this. But you attract someone on the same level of lack
Oh, they
until
lack.
you heal. They lack and you lack. And so here we go. Narcissistic people are not going to be with whole people.
They're not going to be with whole people.
They're not.
So if you find this is not like victim blaming or blaming anybody
No,
else,
no, no,
but
no.
it sounds
It's
like
just a fact.
they find very particular personality types and then they
Yes.
go in for the kill.
Yes. And the nurturers, everything that they love at first about that person. But you also have to have something to you. You have to be the prettiest. You have to be successful. There has to be something about you that you stand out, or I'm not going to even like you anyway. But you have to be like somebody that everyone wants to talk to. You have to have a podcast. You have to have something for me to brag on. And then later, I have to hate it because now you're getting all the attention because people talk about you because you're the prettiest, because you're the smartest, you have a great job. Those things that I love, I now hate.
They despise you for that thing that they once
Despise
admire.
you.
Do
You
they
become
start
the
to try to
enemy.
take it away from you?
I wouldn't necessarily say take it away from you, but destroy you, bring you down.
And they can say, "Hey, I love you, Ralph," but I love
Oh
you,
God, yeah, yes, yes,
and
yes,
and
yes,
make you
yes.
believe it.
Yeah,
But
well, they believe it.
they
So it's
believe it.
not like it's yeah, because I tell people it's not a thing where they're sitting there and they're like, how am I going to do this? No, it's like for everyone narcissistic and not, a person can only love you as much as they love themselves. And if you're with a narcissistic person, the severe insecurities, that love pot only go but so deep, honey.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can't expect for someone who self-talk is so negative and so destroying to themselves, you going to think that they're going to put you on a
They
pedestal and
can't.
make you
They
feel they
literally
can't. They don't do it for
cannot.
themselves.
So there's a guy. He's on social media. His platform has gone really, really wild. He's huge now, and he always opens. I can't think of his name, but he's like, "Hey, I'm so and so. I'm a diagnosed narcissist," and he gives people
Mm-hmm.
advice on narcissists. I just recently saw. I was scrolling his page, and I saw that he was in a relationship with
You
someone.
talking about the black guy?
Yeah, he has long
Yeah, he's
locks.
married. Yeah, he's
Oh,
married.
he's married. Okay, he's married. I didn't know.
Yes,
I just thought that
and
that
I
girl
think
was
he
his
has two
girlfriend.
kids. Oh no, he's married with two kids.
Oh, wow. So I have
Yeah.
everything that you and I talked about on the first podcast and the things that I'm learning and we're all learning on this one. And then me looking at the page, like he's built a platform on everything that narcissists like. It's attention. They get to be the
Mm-hmm.
authority.
Yeah.
They get to social media is about all of us showing off, not just that guy. But
Yeah.
how do we know? Gosh, it's like, how do we know the ones that are the good narcissists? That sounds like such an oxymoron.
It
Because I don't know that
is.
guy to call him a bad person, but when you
No, well,
think
I mean, I wouldn't say that he is a bad person because he is aware. And that is a very small field. I'm
awareness,
talking about awareness. So, and that's the whole point of his platform. He has stated that he wasn't even trying to do this. What he was trying to do is just hold himself accountable and kind of like make maybe a actual visual dialogue of him being in therapy, you know what I'm saying, going through this process because I, from what I remember, him realizing that he is an actual narcissist is shocking. So the way that I think, the way that I move, everything is wrong, and I have to relearn, which they have to do. relearn. Will he ever be healed? No. Can he be better? Yes, he is. I would say he is better because he's helping people. He's like, girl, no, leave him alone. Your mom, yes. Your dad, yes. Like,
His
stop trying
advice is
to.
to leave the narcissist. And through your coaching, you said a lot of women wanted to stay.
They want to stay.
They wanted to stay, but then at the end, maybe they realized that.
Not all, because what it is morals and values. Do I agree? No, but I can't tell someone what to do with their life.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely
So
not.
when I say they want to stay, to them, their staying is not superficial, but it is. They want to stay because marriage is a status. You and I both know that. That's the status. That's the club. That's the Starbucks cup. And a lot of people are not willing to give up that status even for abuse.
Ooh.
A lot of people are not willing to give up that status to possibly be lonely.
Financially desolate. It's just
all of that. A lot of people are not willing to give up that status to say, my kids are in a 2-parent household, when all you're doing is sending more toxic people out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to mimic what you're showing them. If you're not giving them a healthy relationship, guess what they're going to do? They're going to repeat, and they're going to act like dad, or they're going to act like mom, or attract someone like dad, or attract someone like mom.
Ooh.
And
Yikes.
then you're going to sit there and be like, leave that person, just for them to be like, well, you didn't leave.
You were my teacher.
Why would I leave?
You were my teacher.
Damn. Because as you said at the top, things are imprinted on us. That's in our subconscious. You don't intentionally go on like, I want someone like my dad who ignores my mom and doesn't pay us any attention, but it's imprinted on you. And when you meet that person, you're like, oh my gosh, we have a connection. I wonder what that connection is. And it's your subconscious like, we know this.
We know this, guys.
We know this. This is good, guys. This
we're
is
like,
good. We know this.
Guys, we feel love when daddy gives us attention because we're really attention starved. So when he pays 5 seconds of attention to us, we feel amazing. And then you repeat those patterns in your own relationships.
You repeat those patterns. And so it's just like, the reason is not because of, really, I love this person. Because they're
familiar.
It's a control thing.
People stay in marriages. Control. Yeah, control. So
people don't know it's control, but it's control.
I
want you to change.
But you ain't gonna change. Let me were you happy? I want to talk about not feelings of balance, because I feel like balance is always a goal, but in the marriage, were you able to experience, now that you're looking back, hindsight is 2020, were the feelings of bliss and happiness, were they actual feelings of bliss and happiness? And if they were not, what were they?
So for me, yes, but it's not long lasting. Like, if you would think of bliss as wind.
Yeah.
So periodically I would get hit with a wind of bliss, of a wind of happiness, and then it's gone.
Oh. Yeah. What made you attracted to, gosh, you said you were a pick-me. That's such a harsh word, because we eat pick-me's up on one line, like,
honey, and that's why I had to use it, because I wanted to be transparent. Because that's pick-me behavior. I'm going to prove myself to you why you could pick me.
Why you should be better for me. Until you realize that he wasn't capable of being better, because it's just not in his makeup.
Right. He could be better. He couldn't be healed.
He could be better. He just could not be healed.
Right.
And like, I
better
guess, means
work.
Like with AA, it's like, hey, I know there's certain behavioral patterns I have to avoid, but
there you go.
What is that?
It's a work every day for someone, and like, that's waking up every day, making a choice to, like, okay, I know I can't go to this certain bars or certain
restaurants. Asked me to wash the dishes. I'm just going to do it today. There were some days when he washed the dishes, though, right? Like, there was some days.
Well, sometimes I have to, more than likely, I would have to tell him.
So
it's getting done, but I would have, it's not,
because how we were talking about, like, hey, I'm asking him to wash the dishes. He knows the dishes need to be washed, but he's not going to do it because you asked. But I'm wondering if there's some days like, you're like, hey, can you wash them? Because he's working and he's getting better, not healed. He's like, okay, she did ask me. I'm conscious that she's asked me and she needs this done. Let me do it. Did you see the progress happening like that? You had to have.
So no, there is definitely progress. I'm not going to take that away from him. But what I wanted to get to is, as someone who was holding it down, running a business, taking care of kids, doing mostly everything, the ass should not. We live in the same house.
You see the problems. Why is this piling up on me to do it?
Or I have to use brain power for me to remember things just to tell you when you're right here.
So
you're right here.
So now we have a family that has been divided by divorce. Two different households. Your baby is doing a good job going back and forth. You guys have made it work.
Yes.
You know, we talk a lot about co-parenting and step-parenting on this podcast. So, I had to ask, what happens when new people are introduced into the picture? Has that already happened, or have you guys already had the conversation? Like, what's our plan here?
We've had the conversation. It's not my place to say whether it's happening now or not happening now.
Okay, you can't tell me if you got a little boyfriend. You ain't got a boy.
Now, me, I don't have anyone. I decided to take time.
Okay. She's single, y'all, and if y'all not watching this, she is gorgeous. Okay. Okay.
But I'm just taking that time for myself, kind of to rebuild, heal, do all the things.
Yeah.
Get back to who I was and even better. And recently I've been like, okay, now I'm ready.
You might be ready.
I'm ready.
Are there rules of engagement? Because a narcissist doesn't like rules. So if you say, hey, your new lady friend, could you not introduce our baby to your new lady friends if you haven't known them for 6 months? Like, or what, can you make a suggestion? And
for me, I would suggest.
Because I would suggest that they not meet anybody right off the bat. Like every Jane, Jill, and Jacquay.
And I know some people also are not comfortable with what I'm about to say, but yes, I do agree. Especially depending on the child, how and the dynamics, how they would react to a new person, give them time. So even if you start dating right after divorce, sign papers, you already know you had somebody lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Give it 3 months before you even start mentioning the person's name. Give it another 3 months before you even ask.
Let that baby breathe. Damn. Yes, like, let these kids.
But also, what parents tend not to do is ask. Are you comfortable with meeting my new person? So then that child could say yes or no, instead of you saying, hey, I want you to meet my new person.
I guess we don't ask because you're like, well, I know that's the kid. I'm the adult. They're the child. And I know my kid. And also they're a child. A lot of us still kind of subscribe to that old notion that kids don't have feelings, which I don't agree with. So ask them. What if your kid says, hell no, mama? Hell no, daddy.
Then you have to do that because you have to.
What if they say hell no every year?
You need to be responsible for that reaction that child gives you when they start showing out, when they start acting out at school, because you wanted a little boyfriend or girlfriend when you couldn't just wait and still could have had that boyfriend or girlfriend and not introduce them.
Yeah. Your child.
They're not in the relationship with you.
Ooh, yeah.
They're not.
I wholeheartedly agree. 100% wholeheartedly agree. So I got to ask you this question because this has been a hot topic today, actually, on the TikTok page. Because, I have like a TikTok page for all of my channels. I have a page for this podcast now. I have the VIP Stepmom. I got my personal page. So the Stepmom page is directly for people that are in relationships with parents. Stepmoms, dads are on there too. And, the hot topic for today is don't post pictures of my kid. Do not post pictures. And that goes for the new person in your life. And obviously, I'm going to say this, guys, because I'm going to ask Coach Ralph a question. I want to know her thoughts. So if we're in a situation, and, I deal with high conflict families. If you peachy keen and you happy child, you ain't listening to my podcast anyway. Yeah. But I'm dealing with people that already have some sort of conflict or chaos in their scenario. And I'm going to throw these out. You are the dad, or let's just say not you, Coach Ralph, but there's a father. He gets in a new relationship. He's been with this person for 8 months. They know they want to be together. They're trying to combine their life. He has a high conflict ex-wife. We're going to call her a stepmom, even though they're not married, just to keep so I don't have to use as many words. His person, this child's stepmother, is like, oh my God, I'm so happy. We're going out to the fairgrounds today. And we're eating ice cream. And she posts a picture of her kids, her partner's kid, her partner. They resemble one big happy family. And for all intents and purposes, it was a great day. She just wants to share a happy moment in her life. And so, I posed this scenario out here. The mother's high conflict. The mother is watching this person's social media for whatever reason, and she starts to spew, "Don't post my kid. You can't post my kid." I'm of the opinion that's also the dad's child. And if dad has said that you can, okay, you can post. However, you can go to court, and it can be in your court order that you cannot share your child on social media. Or if the other parent has also said the other parent does not share the child on social media, I don't think the new person should come in and do that. But if the other parent is posting their first day of school pictures on their public page, posting them with their boyfriends or their new love interests, I feel like it's kind of fair game. It seems like a rule that only applies because she wants control. Now, because you are a co-parenting person, I want to know, as a professional and a personal, I want to know your opinions on don't post my kid. Don't post my kid.
Oh, Lordy. Okay.
See, it's different now because it's like, ugh.
So as someone who was, and kind of still is, on the side of, well, I've been a step parent to the high conflict.
Yeah.
Ex. Yes. Now, I don't have that, but I still have to deal with my child now going with their father and their father dating or doing whatever and moving on, right? Mm-hmm. Would I have a problem with it? No, because what I was going to say prior is I'm the type that my child doesn't get to be around anyone until I sit down and meet with them. Because daddy has rose-colored glasses on and may not see things because this is a child we share. Yeah. So I understand. I'm not here to ask questions about y'all dating life. I'm here to ask questions about you. How are you with children?
Yeah. Who are you?
Who are you? Because I don't get to spend time with you, so I need to know who you are. Just like if you were talking to someone from care.com or whatever, I need to know before I hire you.
Yes.
If you're going to do something to my child. So if I feel anything, then unfortunately, no, you cannot be around my child like that.
How do we determine what I feel is, bitch, I don't like you? Because we do sometimes lead with our egos. We're all human. Or
here I go.
Or I feel like I'm getting a notion that you're an unsafe person and I can't quite put my finger on it. And our subconscious does lead us to make those bad connections sometimes. Mm-hmm. But how do we know because the feelings ain't facts.
Right.
And it's not going to be an overt that a person's a child killer. That's not going to be an overt thing. But what should we look for if you're meeting with this woman at Starbucks and you're just like, I don't know.
And for me, that's why you don't go into it with run-of-the-mill questions. Because, and I'm going to say this, even with dating, and this is how you're going to avoid getting into relationships with narcissistic people, let's stop asking questions about what school you went to, if you have a degree, your credit, what job you have, because all those things can change overnight. I need to ask character questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How was your relationship with your parents? When is the time that you remember they disappointed you? And when you start getting, God, what do you mean? I just want to know. How do you act when you're upset? Do you wish everyone around you would be quiet and leave you alone? Because that means you're going to ask my child to walk on eggshells because you're upset about something. That's a red flag for me. I need to ask questions like that.
Oh, this is a good role play. This is a good role play because just listening to you say these questions, I do not, and I'm a professional, I do not see myself, but it felt interviewy. And it's like, it's like you're getting to know me. And I've said this online before. I've said, you're getting to know me. I'm not coming here for permission to be around your child. I already have access from my partner. So we can get to know each other, but I won't be interviewed. Now, if you had a Naja sitting across from the table at you, like, how the hell what we going to do? How we going to handle it? Because it's clear that, like, I like your baby. I love you. I'm going to take care of them because I like kids. But how do we get to that when we come through? Because I just don't. Those are great questions for somebody that you're dating or that.
But I'm going to let them know. I'm sitting across from you. We role playing.
Okay. Okay. Let's do a role play. Let's role play.
You're dating my ass.
And you know what? I'm going to be I'm going to be on the defense. So Naja, come on. Method acting, Naja. This is why you moved to New York, Naja. It didn't work out at acting, so let's just try it on this podcast. Okay. And scene. I'm defensive. Hello, how are you?
Hey girl, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so surprised that you asked to sit down with me, but I kind of figured it was going to happen. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Now, I just want to let you know, I'm always going to be transparent and honest. This is not for us to be best friends, but I do want us to have a cordial back and forth banter. So,
Okay.
This is why I want us to sit down, because kids are going to be kids. And when things aren't going peachy keen and we're not eating ice cream, they may be upset, and sometimes we may tell stories. And I want to be able to have a relationship with you. So then I know when they're making up stuff because they're upset with you, or if there really is an issue that me and you and dad can all sit and talk about.
Damn, I can't even be defensive because you're being so good about this. Damn. Okay, come on, Naja. Okay, come on, Naja.
The questions I'm about to ask you, I don't mean to come off like this, but I'm gonna tell you, girl, it's gonna be interviewee. I'm gonna tell you for real. Like,
okay,
I'm coming at you. I'm coming back.
Well, okay. You know what? It is your baby. Our babies are our prized possessions. I get that. So I'm open to, with boundaries, of course, but I'm open to questions.
And if you do feel uncomfortable or you need more time to be like, okay, Ralph, I can't answer that on the spot, that's fine. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, But
okay.
I need for you to know that
you're doing your job as mom.
Yes.
So you can add.
That's my prize. And I'm not coming at you because I have feelings for dad. I just want you to know, these are kind of interviewee, but I have to ask these questions just so I can feel secure.
Hold on, cut. You're not being, no. Like, if I get defensive off this and I'm just a bitch and I shouldn't be a stepmom, like how you presented it, you're like, I'm a mom that cares and I want to connect with you. You're not doing a good job at making me defensive. So that's it.
But even if you did and you was like, girl, I'm not trying to hear all of that, I'm going to just be honest with you because you already know.
Okay, so let me say that. Okay, and action. Okay. Say start, just pick up and I'm going to interrupt you.
My questions are interviewee. I'm not trying to attack you. I do not have feelings for my ex anymore.
Just because you mentioned that, like, he told me about a lot in a relationship. Clearly, I know a whole bunch about you and how things went down and your perception of how things went down. It's a little bit different than what my man says about you, but I'm not here to be interviewed. I really did just want to come meet you, sit down. I wanted just to show respect as my stepson's mother. I know we're not married yet, and we're not engaged yet, but we're gonna be. So I wanted to show respect or whatever for my relationship. But yeah, like, I'm not with the interview stuff. I'm not with it, girl. Like, you probably gonna have to just talk to your communicate. And I'm here. I'm gonna be with your child. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna do all that stuff, but I'm not trying to like you said, best buddies. I'm not trying to do that either. I'm just really here because my man asked me to.
I'm not trying to do that either, but at the same time, I am the authority, and so with that being said, you will not have access to my child because I will go to
You're the authority at what? Because your son has a father, and that's who I'm in a relationship with.
Right, but that's who I have a child with. I don't have a child with you.
But you asked to sit here and meet me, though.
Honey, you're just like a grandparent. You are just like a grandparent.
Well, why am I here? You're the one that wanted to meet and interview me. I just said I don't want to do an interview.
My child doesn't have to be around you. And so this interview could be over. And your man will come over to my house to see their child. Until you
get a court order. I mean, you're making these threats, and I just said I don't want to be interviewed. Like, you're getting so upset.
No, these are not threats, honey. These are promises. I told you that I wouldn't lie to you. I told you that I would make things happen. And so you decided to flip the script and bring my former into this. And I told you I did not care. I want y'all to run off into the sunset and have a good time. What my concern is my child. And so you can take the pictures. You can go off on the cruise, the vacations. But I want to feel secure because that child came out of my body. And you should provide that respect to me, my child, and his father.
Respect is earned. It's not It just doesn't
You're
come
not
out.
even allowing me to earn it because you already got an attitude, and I'm trying to figure out why the attitude is, honey.
I just didn't like the interview approach, but like I'll go ahead and answer your questions because I don't want my man.
In life you don't like paying bills, but you do it.
I don't want my man to feel uncomfortable and have to go somewhere for his child to just have his parenting time. Okay, I don't want to be the one to stand.
Let's do this.
Be quiet and let's do this.
Yes.
I'll be the bigger woman. In the way. I'll be the bigger woman. I will go ahead and ask. You can ask 3 questions. So 3 questions.
I'm asking more than 3. If you can't do it, then we're not doing it.
I can negotiate and bargain with 3. I think that's really fair. Because I think tempers are kind of here right now, and they shouldn't be.
No. I'm talking to you in a very stern and authoritative way, and you don't like.
You're not my authority, though. You're not an authority over me, nor do I see you as that. And at this point, I don't think I'll ever see you as that.
And I'm not asking you to, but the authority fact here, the thing in the middle is my child. So you will.
Your child is amazing. Your child is actually, and I won't let this interaction affect how I treat your child when he's with us.
This far, I protected my child. So your attitude is not a good influence on what I will want my child to even see.
Setting boundaries because you don't want a stranger danger interviewing you. You should want your child to learn boundaries. I want you to ask your 3 questions. You get 3.
Honey, I have more than 3.
How many do you have on your list? Can you email them to me? I can use ChatGPT to answer. Oh, this is good, Ralph. We're going to have to okay, cut and sing. Y'all like that. Hey, I know I'm crazy listeners. Y'all like that shit. I know they were like, what the hell is they're like, and you know what? I'm going to post just that little clip online so people can think it's me. Like, what is happening? Oh my God. So yeah, I had to turn it up and get like defensive because how you presented it for real, you just it was so nice. It's like if a woman loves her partner, she sees and she loves the relationship that her partner has with their kid, she's not gonna want to be the one to interfere. But there also is a line of having self-respect and knowing when the mother or the other parent is being invasive and intrusive and trying to check you, because we ain't here to be checked. We're here to just be like, hey, tell me what your baby likes. What's the baby like?
On the flip side of that, for me, I know you have gone through it, but for me, I got the avoidance. So I came into it as the other woman mature. And I was like, before I do anything with the child, I want to make sure that I get the okay from the mom.
Are you okay, woman to woman?
Are you okay with me doing this? Are you okay with me? And the thing was, don't talk to me. I don't want to meet you. Even all the way, we've been married 4 years, and it's like, it still needs to be me and the dad. But honey, you okay with me picking your child up from school?
You okay with me being the nanny, the cook, the nurse, the babysitter when you need it? But you don't. What is that about? Because you are, and I don't know if you can identify with this because you are not that type of mother. You're not that type of woman. But that I would need to look somebody in the eye too if my kid is staying with you. Put straight up. My baby's staring at you like, girl, I need your phone number. I need to know where y'all are.
There's family members that my child can't even, and this is real life. This is not even scenario.
Yeah.
There are family members my child can't go with. So if I'm going to have that scrutiny for a family member of blood, why wouldn't I be sitting down and talking to someone that they're dating? Same thing with somebody that I'm dating. Like, you won't even see my child.
No.
Until I know you are somebody that I can be, you know what I'm saying, that I feel secure with. My son won't even know there is a person.
Good. I genuinely think that's kind of healthy. I think kids should know mom and dad are not together anymore. But, mama has friends, but they don't have a face. They're not seeing a revolving door. Yeah, I do think men do it more. Well, I don't know. No shade, because I know y'all ladies like to tussle.
No, because I'm
out here. They be loving to tussle.
I'm going to have to be on their side.
Okay.
I've seen it. Child. Some women can't be without a man, and so they don't care about that revolving.
A man will have a new wife in 15 minutes.
Honey, 15 minutes, and some women don't have it in 10.
So then what is the process the same? Like when you bring a significant other and you make the decision, this person is like, I want to introduce them. Is the process the same?
I still got to ask the okay.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I still have to ask the okay because up until now, I've talked through the process, even though there is no one, I've talked through the process with him. Like, once I feel secure, I'm going to ask you. And then if you do say it's okay, then we're going to have small outings. Nothing long. 'Cause
No
then if they
spend the
don't,
night. We're not doing
not
all
spend the
that.
night, but we're not doing bowling. We're not going to the movies because those are hour-long things. 15 minutes. Let's go get some ice cream. Let's go get something to eat real quick. Let's meet at the park.
And just see
So
how
if
your
the
baby
child doesn't
feels.
feel comfortable, they don't have another 45 minutes to spend with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like, how do you prepare your child to know that all their life they've seen mom and dad, or they've seen
Yeah.
mom and mom, or dad and like whatever you guys' the scenario is out there. They've seen these two people in this institution that they call family. How in the heck? Like, that's a lot. That was my worst fear as a kid, that my
Yeah.
parents would divorce. That was
Yeah.
literally one of my
And that's why you
nightmares.
need
When
to
I would
ask
see them
them, like,
fight, I
let
would.
them
Mm-hmm.
take them time. The more you involve them in the process, the more you get them to come around. The more you force them on the process, you are probably going to get pushback. You're probably going to get a conversation at 25 and how I hated you because you pushed this person on me. And
Oh,
behind your back, this person was mean to me. They said certain things and I couldn't come talk to you because you wouldn't believe me because you were just so in love.
oh. How do you make up for that if you did not give your child a choice? Because I don't think a lot of parents knew
I don't
to
think
let
you
me ask, like,
can.
how do you say as an adult, your kid is 20, like you said, 25 now, and you're still married to Mr. Charlie or Miss Charlene,
Yeah.
and you didn't ask this child, you didn't introduce them properly, and the child was shaken up. And I'm pretty sure the relationship with Mr. Charlie or Miss Charlene is trash with that child now
Oh
because
yeah,
they don't.
it's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash. It's absolutely trash. But it's like you can't really make up for it because you kind of like pick somebody over them. But then you know what you've also done? You've taught them that they don't have a choice. So then they go into relationships, platonic and romantic, and they don't have a voice. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because mama already told me my choice doesn't matter.
So sounds like it's just all hope is lost type of situation.
This is something where the adult child has to then heal themselves.
Damn. None of us
Honey,
Mela, what we said earlier, nobody made it out of childhood okay. So, bada bing,
honey,
bada boom.
you just have to make the choice of I got to fix this on my own because I won't be able. Mama can't go back. Mama may not give me an apology, but at the same time, the apology kind of helps. But I'm the one who has to do the work because I've picked up this habit of not voicing my opinion, not saying I want or need or desire these things because I'm fearful that they're going to be like, child, please, we doing what I want to do because that's what
Yeah.
mama did. That's what daddy did.
Coach Ralph, we could go on
Honey, we
all
could.
day. And we're going to have to do like another role play because that was so good. That was so much fun. I think I'm going to go like audition for Broadway after this. But
So,
I want to wrap it up with one last question. This is kind of a big question. And generally speaking, though, when a person, male, female, whatever, non-binary, whomever you are that's listening to this, if you suspect that your partner is a narcissist, and for whatever reason, as Coach Ralph mentioned, we do stay in these relationships out of sometimes financial need, fear of what's on the other side. We're familiar, we're secure, we just cannot leave right now. But if you suspect that your person is suffering from narcissistic personality disorder and you've made the conscious decision to stay with them, Coach Ralph, can you just give these people a bit of advice on how to maintain their own sanity and some semblance of balance as they navigate their
and
person?
this is what I do now. You have to focus because a lot of the jargon and the information now is to focus on basically diagnosing the person, basically telling them, oh, you have all these traits. You're this, where you're still going to basically help to destroy yourself because your health you're not paying attention to. You're not pouring into yourself. There is no self-care. There is no outlet. There is no venting. There is no therapy. If you're going to stay, you have to be intentional with pouring into yourself. You have to be intentional with seeking help, counseling, coaching, something, because you have to get it out. The body keeps score. You have to move. Most people, because they're doing so much, they neglect exercise. A simple walk outside for a mile or two, you have to, because you have to remember being with someone who's narcissistic, being a caretaker to someone who's narcissistic, you're taking in a lot of negativity and you're not able to combat that because you're not allowed to say anything else because you're going to be retaliated on. You have to take in all of this and just hold your tongue. What do you think happens when you holding that in your body?
Disease.
So
Disease.
disease. And you blame it on all these other things. Your hair's falling out. You have acne. You have high blood pressure. You have all of these things. And you're like, old age, my eating habits. No, it's your environment. And you're not moving. Just like, and I hate to say it like this, but just like how we take in food and we pee or have a bowel movement, just imagine you're not doing either one of those. And you're taking in toxins. And you're taking in toxin, you're holding it in, you're not expelling those things outside your body. You're not sweating, you're not moving your body, you're not. So even if you're going to therapy, emotionally and mentally, you're getting it out. Physically, you're still holding on to it. So you have anxiety, you have depression, you have all of these sicknesses going on. You're like, what's going on? Move your body.
Move. And Coach
You gotta
Ralph,
move.
thank you so much. I've been seeing it because I see you got abs now. Coach Ralph, look at listen, y'all. Can you just tell them where to find you on social media so they can see what I'm seeing right now in case they're not watching? Coach Ralph, you got fine as frog hair, honey. Oh my
I had to get back because I've always been fine.
You always been fine.
I fell off. I ain't gonna lie. I fell off.
You always been fine. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, damn, I'm looking at you now. So can you just tell everybody where to find you? And please follow her everywhere. Tell them where to find you though.
Yes. So my main page, my personal page is Ralph the Coach at Ralph the Coach on Instagram, and then my business page, which is coaching, is at Vitality Studios LLC.
Yes, Vitality Studios. And guys, all of her links will be shared down below in the comments in the description section. So please follow Coach Ralph. Make sure you tell her I heard you on over there on I Know I'm Crazy with Naja Hall. And thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode. I will see you guys on Tuesdays everywhere your favorite podcasts are streamed. Mwah. Oh.
I know I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. Naja Hall.